Alex, what's going on, brother?
How we doing, man?
Good. Good. I act like I haven't been talking to you for the past 10 minutes, but here we are. Well, welcome to the show, dude.
Love it. We had to have a little warm up there.
I know. Most of the time I wish I would have just recorded the warm up too, because I feel like there's always some good things in there. And I actually got to a point just barely where I was like, you know what? Pause. Let's record this because the intro, I guess, that I kind of want to give for you, Alex, isn't necessarily, like what your background is in and, where you've been successful and stuff like that and what you do, but more so in the impact, Alex, that you have had on me, man. It's funny because, I think we both would fully acknowledge the fact that, like, Alex, I think I've met you in person twice. Like, I think we've talked a little bit here and there, but it's so funny because I feel like I have a much stronger connection with you than I do with a lot of other people who I've only met once or twice. And the first time we ever met was at Herm's Inn, grabbing some food. My brother, Russ, said, dude, you should reach out to Alex and just talk to him and pick his brain. I was kind of at a pivotal point at that time where I'd just been laid off from my job, found out we were having twins. We're looking to move in with my in-laws because it was just like a freaking wild time. And on top of that, was contemplating starting my fitness and nutrition coaching business. And Russ was just like, you gotta sit down with Alex. So I reached out to Alex, didn't even hesitate, wanted to meet up. We went and had lunch, and you've said it already multiple times, like I said in our warm-up conversation here, Alex, but just like, dude, I don't know if you realize this, but you really were probably the push over the edge for me to just go for it, man. And I was so hesitant and so nervous. I didn't want to post on social media, and you're just like, bro, just do it. Just go for it. Like, what do you have to lose, And so anyways, man, I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you and just like want to thank you for that nudge you gave me. Not even a nudge. It was a pretty good push, but, and then just the little interactions in between then and now, man, have just, I don't know. I value those a lot. And I love seeing your posting on social media when you're running, and we'll definitely kind of get into a little bit of that. But anyways, man, thank you so much for the push. Thank you for being here today and checking in on the journey, man.
Dude, I'm honored. I'm glad I hope it's been positive for you. So I'm happy. I'm flattered. I didn't even know that. Yeah, I'm glad I can have a positive influence on somebody. It's good.
Well, see, dude, and you say that like I'm the only person you've ever had a positive influence on, but I listened to a podcast you were on recently, and those two dudes both said the exact same thing that I'm saying right now of how like pivotal and impactful you were in their journey and stuff. And so anyways, man, I know it's just in your blood and it's in your genes, and I don't know, man. I just appreciate so much people like you and the fact that I have the opportunity of having you in my life and having you on the show. So
likewise, bro. I love it.
Cool, dude. Well, with that kind of being the intro, I kind of want to, I've told Alex that I really wanted to have him on the show today and kind of talk about his mindset. And I kind of already given you guys a little bit of insight into the mindset that Alex has, and whether it be in his career or whether it be in his fitness and like journey, or in his role as a husband and a father, his mindset, I think it's almost like it's just next level. Like, I don't know, witnessing it from a distance too. I can't even like really put it into words, but it's like, it's on a level that I hope and aspire to get to one day. And so maybe Alex, let's just start with why, like, where does the mindset you have come from, and maybe help us understand what is the mindset you have just like about life in general, and how has that played a role in your life?
So honestly, what I'd start with is not even my mindset, but probably like how it's been shaped. And you say this and like you compliment me, and I'm genuinely like flattered by but the truth is, like, I have so much growth. Like, I have so much more to grow. And so, and that's, I guess, part of my mindset, but I think it's what people don't understand is like how it is shaped. And And you can listen to like tips and tricks and all this other stuff, but I think ultimately it's shaped like in that conversation that we had at like the lowest points, you know. I'm all emotional, but that's
I
what's
love
real.
it, man.
That's what's real. I mean, when we went to lunch, you said you just lost your job, trying to figure out which direction to go. You have 2 twins on the way. It's like, dude, I think that there's nothing more overwhelming than having kids on the way or a kid. I can't imagine twins. And then as fathers, I feel like there's this, I don't even want to say it's a dark cloud, but it's a cloud that hangs over you that of like this overwhelming responsibility and need to provide, and that concern about providing for your family. And so I went through a similar situation, and I talked about this on the other podcast, where I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to provide for my family. And I was on the verge of losing everything. And I think what I did is like face that and admit that and own that, like own where I was. And I think that's a huge part of my mindset, is like just being real and vulnerable. As guys, like I see this especially with men, and like my friends, myself, we try to put on like this mask almost of like, I've got it together, like this is what I'm doing, everything is put together. And it's like, it's not, dude. Like we are constantly putting it together as we go. And so I would say that like my mindset is born out of like being vulnerable and real with myself and who I am, and understanding that like we are constantly progressing, and that's okay. Like we're never, dude, the moment we get to the mountaintop, there's another one. And the moment you reach that one, there's another one. And that is like the beauty of life, really, and progression. And that's what we're here for in my mind. So starting there with a little where that's born is huge for me.
I love that, man. I love that. And as you mentioned, I know you did mention it or talk about it in pretty good depth in that other podcast. That was the GM podcast, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. You guys should go check it out, because Alex's story is, I mean, when he says he almost lost it all, like I've heard Alex talk about this situation a couple of times now, and it's obviously very emotional, because it was all, man. It was everything. And the amount of the dollars that you kind of mentioned in that other podcast too, I mean, we're talking millions and millions of dollars, right? And so anyways, go listen to it. It's an amazing story. And what makes it so amazing is how Alex was able to kind of, pull himself out of that. But that's kind of where I guess I want to head next, Alex, is like when you're in that dark spot, of just like being consumed by all of the responsibilities that you have. I mean, again, we don't need to go into super good detail, because I think they did a great job on their podcast, but you mentioned, Alex, that your life insurance would have covered, I mean, all the debt that you had, as well as provided for your family. And so even the thought that you had, of potentially, ending your life, just again depicts how dark of a time this was for you, man.
Yeah.
I want you to kind of explain to everybody what is it that helped you come out of that hole that you were in.
So, I mean, I'm religious, right?
Yeah, please. I mean, we're religious on this podcast, man.
But so like, I'm a believer that like we are here for a reason, and like that deep belief really is what kind of kept me going. Like, and my family, of course, like
Yeah,
everything, right? Sorry. But I'll tell you what, like, you have to know, one, like, God created us,
Mm-hmm.
which is like the most insane thing ever, because I believe that, like, if we're made in his image, like, we can do anything, right? Like, there is not a single thing on earth. I genuinely believe this, that if someone can set their mind to and commit to, they can accomplish. And that is God. Like, we have the ability, and he's given us the ability to do everything. But in that darkest time and like the loneliest time, dude, God didn't come and save me. And there was no miracles performed except right in here and right in here. And that's not to like put God aside or like faith aside. And that's not in any negative context. It's actually in a positive context, because it's like, it taught me like everything that I need, he's given me. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so it turned into, I mean, if there's two things we're talking on mindset, one is like, it turned into like showing up, like, and I knew this, like with the business, I was like, burn the ships, I'm going all in. And like, I went all in, and I truly believed like I would succeed if I went all in. The business failed, but I succeeded. Like, and I'm still succeeding, and I'm failing though every day, dude. And so it's this like dichotomy of like, how do you have to keep showing up to succeed. And anyway, my whole mantra in becoming, and like you mentioned mindset, and what I would stress more than anything is like, I am not winning every single day. I'm showing up, and I'm freaking undefeated at showing up. Like, and as deep in my bones as you could possibly go, and in the darkest parts of my soul, I'm gonna show up, and no one's gonna stop me. Nobody. And I can have a bad day. I can fail. I can fail for a week. I can fail for months. But I'm never going to stop showing up. And in the end, that is success to me. That is growth, and that is winning. And I'll always win in my mind because of that. So that's my underlying like mantra. It's like, I'm showing up every damn day.
I love it, man. I love it. God, yeah. Showing up, undefeated at showing up. I feel like that's so powerful. And that's something that I feel like anybody can do, right? Like, just show up, just be there, do it, put forth the effort. And as you do that, I mean, it's a lot harder to continue to fail if you just keep showing up, right?
Yeah.
Even though you will fail at times.
I think that a lot of people feel that too. Like, they're showing up, or they're having a bad day, and it's like, just throw it away. Like, just forget my dreams, forget my path, forget the goal. But dude, it's okay. Like, you've got to keep swinging every freaking day.
Love it. I don't know what made me think of this, Alex, but I kind of want to ask, and if you're willing to share this, I mean, I would love it. But if obviously you go into whatever detail you want to here, I'm just curious, man, like through all the dark moments and stuff, and like through the hard times that you had, I mean, how in the know, like, was your wife? Like, how much did she realize what was going on, and how, like, what was her role, man, in helping you to kind of work through all the things that you did?
So there was something with my wife is unreal. Like, and And I think there was something there that was, so I told her at one point as I was going through this, and this is in 2020, right? 2019. But I'm like, look, we could lose everything. Like we could lose the house. We could lose it all. And like we probably were going to, and we didn't in the end. But like she just looked at me one day, and I told her this, and she's like, I don't even care. She's like, that means nothing to me. Like our family is everything, and that's all that matters. And that alone was like so powerful, because it was like, because I felt like, especially as like a man, like I'm the provider, right? I'm supposed to provide a safe place for my wife, my family, my kids. And now I've made all these decisions and took all these risks, and like the reality of those decisions and those risks, like, were that, hey, we could lose it all. And she didn't care. And that was where I was like, she's on my side. Like, we're going to walk through this together. So
it's awesome, dude. It's awesome. And I don't know how many kids you had at the time. I know you have 6 kids now, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Crazy, man. That's so cool. Now that makes me think of, I don't know, I feel like Alex Hermosi said something like that, but also John Deloney. I don't know if you follow John Deloney on Instagram or anything, but
love that dude, actually. Yeah.
He puts out so much good stuff, man. But he was on a podcast with Jordan Syatt recently, and they talked about that, and he talked about how at a point in his marriage and stuff, he said it was the most humiliating thing he's ever done, but he just like told his wife, like, I just want to know that you're proud of me. And he vocally like said that out loud. He said, I felt so dumb. I felt so humiliated and just like so little at the time. But him just like expressing that to his wife, and then his wife understanding that, and then letting him know how proud she was of him, and like for the efforts and stuff that he was putting in as a dad and as a provider and all of the things, it made a huge difference. And so the fact that your wife kind of gave you that positive reassurance, you know, that she didn't care. She loves you. She's proud of you, and all she wants is you and the kids, right? Like how awesome is that? So especially in the moment that you were in. Sorry, man, that was just kind of like, it just came to my mind, and I just wanted to ask about that. But
dude, I want to hit on that a little more too.
Please.
Just like for women, like not dude, and this is me being vulnerable, and maybe I don't speak for every guy on the planet, so forgive me. But if knowing that your wife believes in you, and like, I'll be honest, there was a time there where she probably didn't. Like, I'm just being straight. I'm doubting myself, and this is all internal. She never indicated that to me ever. But like I thought that of her, like she doesn't believe I can provide anymore or whatever else. And that was all in my head. But like, women have no idea how powerful it is, especially like as a spouse to men. Men are like freaking puppies, dude. Like they just need you to encourage them. And like, if I know my wife believes in me, bro, I could take over the world. And they need to know that. And I think women don't know that. Like, they look at men as like strong and tough. And no, like, we need that fuel. But having them stand and back you makes you unstoppable. And so if there's a single woman on here listening, they need to go tell your husband you believe in him.
I love that, man. Just like puppies. I don't think there's a better analogy there. And you also said if you don't speak for all men, but I think if we were to name a spokesperson for all men, Alex, it'd be you, man. So So let's shift gears just a little bit. Alex, you have done multiple ultra marathons. And obviously anybody who is running more than, I mean, like I ran a marathon just like on my own because I was like, I want to see if I can do it. I did it. But I'm like, my body shut down, dude, at 26.2 miles. And I almost couldn't even like walk after that. Like I stopped dead in my tracks and like fell onto the fence next to me and like held myself up. But I'm like, you're running, I mean, specifically the Moab 240, like we're talking 240 miles. How on earth does a person like get to that point and get to that place? I mean, if we want to talk about mindset and mentality, like there's got to be something there that we can kind of talk about and elaborate on. But what initially made you want to do that, and then how on earth did you accomplish that?
So I think I don't want to say that it was ego. But maybe there was a small part of that was initially, like in that other podcast I mentioned, like, hey, I'm at the lowest point in my life, and then I see this podcast with Courtney Dauwalter and Joe Rogan, and you should go watch that podcast if you haven't. It's freaking hilarious. But she's talking about the Moab 240 experience, and I'm like, I got to do that. And then I was like, it was almost like I went from this massive failure in business, which again, now I view as a success, but it was like, I need a massive win, and I need to show myself like I can do flipping anything. And so I signed up for that race, right? And the first year I was not prepared, but I just went. And I think that you see a lot of people, I'm trailing off a little here, but I think this is like important. I know a lot of runners that are like way better than me, way better endurance, like way better athletes, and they will never sign up for something like that, probably because they're scared to fail.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the true reason, but that's how I view a lot of it.
Huh.
Like maybe I'm like, why are these guys not doing it? These guys would crush. And then there's me, I'm a Clydesdale. Like I got no business being a runner. And it's like, if I can do it, anybody can. But I'm like, I think a lot of people are scared to fail, and I'm not scared to fail.
At what point, like, what was the timeline here, Alex? Like, when did you sign up for your first Moab 240, and like, where were you at in like your business endeavors? Like, was it pretty simultaneous, or was it a little bit after?
So I was literally like, we were winding down this business, which was this massive recycling facility. And I was sitting in my flipping office, just like sulking, actually, like the lowest time. And I had heard this podcast, and I literally went for a run that night, I think. And then within like 2 days, I'm like, I'm signing up. And so I went and signed up. I had no money. Like I put it on a credit card. It was like $1,500. And it's like, I had no business doing that at that time in my life. And I signed up, dude. And that was the first time. And then the next year I completed it. And anyway.
Jeez, man. So how far did you make it the first year?
The first year I made it like 48 miles. And then I got a testicular torsion.
Oh, wow. Wow. Could not have felt good.
Yeah, that was a rough deal. But yeah, it all worked out. We got 2 kids later, so. But no, that was like my first taste of it, and I'm like, dude, this is insane. Like and everyone out there was so cool.
Yeah.
And the whole like trail running community is rad. Like
that's awesome. That's awesome. So you completed the Moab 240 the next year. Have you done more since then?
So I did it in 2020 is when I first completed it. 2022, I went again, and I was pretty untrained. I went to like mile 130 and I called it.
Gotcha.
And I shouldn't have. But there's a prime example of like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I showed up, and then in 2023, I did it again.
So you've done it 4 times.
I signed up 4 times. I've completed it twice. Yep.
Jeez, dude. Crazy. And no other ultras, just the Moab 240?
There's one called Speed Go. That was
Okay.
actually my very first one.
Okay.
And dude, I was like third to last. Freaking just the most brutal race I've ever been in. You climb up over Snowbird, and Carl Metzner, who created that course, dude, he's got a sick mind. Like you peak, you drop, and you think you're like in the home stretch, and dude, he sends you right back to the top.
Oh my gosh.
So, but yeah, I've done that, and then we're doing White Pine 50 this August, and I did that last year, and your brother's running that with us.
Cool. I wondered if that's the one he was doing. So
yeah.
Awesome, man. Yeah, no, that's freaking awesome, dude. So before you signed up for that first ultra, you ran one time, really? Like in preparation? Not even in preparation. It was like you just went and ran one time. You heard that podcast, went and ran that night, and then a couple days later decided to sign up.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I mean, it's like I'm just trying to get inside your head a little bit at that point and try to understand, like what's going on there. Again, I mean, 240 miles for having ran one time since, I think since when? Like, had you ran much before that at all?
We did. So I would do some, like, I think in 2016 we did some marathons, but not a lot. Like I do like one marathon a year, and dude, I was running like my marathon times are like 4 hours and 40 minutes. Like we were just walking. Yeah, we were just running for fun. It wasn't like, and I was never consistent with my running training, like, so it was pretty spotty. But
so let me ask you this: what was it about the podcast and that one run that you had gone on that like pushed you over the edge of wanting to do this? Because I'm just trying to get inside your head a little bit, man, and understand, like, I know you were in a really tough spot at the time and you were kind of working through, wrapping up this business and stuff. What was it about running that, I mean, it had to have brought you some sort of solace or like relief or something? Like what was it that it did for you?
It did, for sure. So, and like I posted about this on my Instagram, and I should just read the post. It'll say it much better. But yeah, like I think I mentioned in there, like, hey, so I'm in this dark spot. I see this podcast, and I was literally like, it's embarrassing, but I was like suicidal, right? Like it was the lowest point in my life. But I just went and put my shoes on, and I just went up on the deer trail, just by Providence Canyon, up here in Cache Valley. And dude, I just was alone, and it just was like this magic moment of like, while I was running and gassed, I was probably completely gassed. Maybe there was a downhill section where I was just feeling really good. But I'm like, I'm signing up. I'm like, that's when I decided, like, I'm signing up. I'm going to do this. And like, I have to do this to show myself that I can do, I can. Like if this Courtney Dauwalter chick can do this and have this insane experience, I'm like, I can do this. And I need to show myself that I can do this. And so, and it was like, I mean, you probably experienced this sometime when you're exercising, right? Like where you just feel so good and like the ideas are flowing, and it was one of those moments of like, in this dark spot, this tiny bit of light showed up, and I signed up, and the rest is history there. So
I love it, man. I love it. I was just trying to Instagram stalk and find that post. I wanted to read it, but it's good, man. I think kind of what you mentioned there, dude. I don't think I can even put it on the same level as what you were probably experiencing at the time. I mean, right now I'm looking at a post of you walking, like coming across the finish line of the Moab 240, dude, and I can't even imagine what that feeling is like. But yes, I think in some little way, I think I do understand what you're talking about. Like me going to the gym, 4 times a week and pushing myself physically, and like the benefit that brings me mentally is just so much peace and clarity almost, that those are the moments where I believe in myself the most, is like when I'm there and when I'm doing it and when I'm pushing myself hard physically. It's like, man, I just get so much clarity, dude. And I feel like I can do whatever I want. Kind of like you talked about, that godly power that's within us all, right? Like we can do whatever we want. And so I guess, how, Alex, have you taken that? Because I feel like this is something that I personally struggle with, is like, how do you take that feeling that you have in those moments of you running and just like the clarity and like I'm trying to remember some of the words you used to describe it. Like, how do you take that and apply it to your daily life? Like in your business now, like, I know you were, I don't know if you still do realtor work, like, but I know you do a lot of like, what do you call yourself, Alex? What is your job now? I'm like, I don't think you're a realtor, are you?
I mean, I am a realtor, but it's mainly development. And
okay.
And it's funny because it's like, I would call myself an entrepreneur, and I actually think it's pretty cliche to say that now, but I am, like, at heart, that's what I am.
Yeah.
I'm driven by business. I love all sorts of business, any type of business. Like, I'm all about learning it and diving into it. And it like drives me. I get excited about it, but there's two. You say you try to get in my head, and I love that, because I need to get out of my head sometimes. But I mentioned like showing up every day and just like consistently showing up. But and I view this a little differently now. I carried that darkness with me for a few years, and it sounds kind of funny, but like I feel like that's gone. Like a big portion of that darkness is gone. And what I translated it into, especially with running, was like, and you can see this on my Instagram too, but it's like before the races, it was like, I'm going to war. Like, and I think I still believe this. Every day we are at war with ourselves. It is not other people. It is not who you view as competition. You are the competition. And overcoming yourself is the greatest battle we're ever going to fight. And it's the battle we fight every day.
I freaking love that, man.
And I posted on there, and this is just to like conceptualize it, maybe for me and for my basic mind back then, and even now, but I called it chasing demons. Like, and when I was in that dark spot, like those demons were dark, right? But those demons can also show up as not making the phone call that I need to make for work, or not doing the thing I need to do to help my kids or be a better father. And so, and if you dive into then like the ultra running thing, it's like those demons are doubt. Like, can I keep going? Like, oh, my ankle's bugging me, my knee's bugging me, I got blisters on every flipping toe. Like, you're always going to have an excuse, and those excuses or those problems were my demons. And rather than running from them, I ran at them and I chased them. And I think that is what's really helped me. And maybe you could say that's a little bit of my mindset, is And I have off days where I don't do that. But I try to pursue those demons and chase them down so that they don't come haunt me later. And as I've done that, especially over the past few years, I feel like those demons are like, they're dissipating.
Yeah.
They're quieter. And they're leaving me the hell alone because they know I'm going to come after them. Like,
God, I freaking love that, man. I love that so much. I think too, just to kind of think through that a little bit with you, man. It's like, Alex, I don't know. I'm sure some people probably have experienced what you've experienced, you know, with going through businesses like that. That, I mean, just listening to you talk about it in that other podcast, man, and in our conversations in the past, like you were on a high, like you were riding this huge wave, man, and you were headed in really good direction. And then it seems like, I'm sure it wasn't overnight, but when I listened to you talk about it, it seems like it was boom. It's like, holy crap, like what is going to happen now? And so I don't think that most of us will ever experience maybe some of the feelings and thoughts and just like challenges that you have. But that's not to downplay or disregard, you know, other people's challenges. I mean, I think about challenges and stuff that I'm facing on a daily basis right now. And again, I don't know if I would ever compare them to what you went through, man. But
dude, I would though. Like, and I don't know what you're facing today and what you've like. Everyone has them. Like,
yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah.
But my life is not. Yeah, I was at a low spot, but my life is not hard, bro. No one's really is that bad. Like, it's just all in your perspective and how you view it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, with that being said, it's like we all have those. And just the whole concept and idea. I mean, again, not speaking for all men everywhere, but I think again that analogy of like going to war is something that for whatever reason I think really resonates with us. And I don't know. I hate that I even feel like I have to do this, but I'm like, I'm sure there are some women who that resonates with too. But anyways,
I view it differently.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is like, I think for the most part, most men probably will hear that and be like, freak yeah, like I'm going to war with myself today. And just listening to you talk about it, man, that's exactly how I felt. I mean, I thought about all these different things that I want to like go to war with myself on. And improve and win and conquer and grow from and develop into this person that I want to be so badly, you know? And so I hope that even if it's just one or two people who hear this and feel the same way, it's like freaking go to war, go conquer those demons, man, and do whatever you can to improve yourself every single day. Just show up. Like there's so many things, Alex, that you've said in this podcast, and I'm just like, I want to put them on a wall right here in front of me so I see them every single day. Like show up, go to war, conquer your demons, like all of those things, embrace it, like meet them head on. I can't tell you enough, man, how appreciative I am of you being here today. And I don't want to like end the conversation if there's more to go on here, but I'm just like, is there anything else, man? Like just general like advice or knowledge or anything that somebody listening to this, you know, whether it be they're in a really hard time, whether it be they're starting out on a new journey or process. I mean, what I do is I'm really trying to help people, you know, start their fitness and health journey, like really change their life in that way. Like what would you tell somebody who's just trying to take on the world, you know, and improve themselves?
I would say, dude, I would say, I mentioned this a little earlier, but I think that you've got a lot of us lie to ourselves. And I'm not like, there's some influencers out there that are like, quit lying to yourself, look in the mirror. But there's a lot of truth in that. Like, own who you are and where you're at, and understand that like there's no freaking shortcuts. There's no easy way. And everyone who you're looking at who you think has it easier, like they don't. Like, if there's one thing I've learned, like where you're at is earned 99% of the time. And you've got to just keep going and showing up. And you've got to face who you are. You've got to solve the problems that you know in your mind you got to solve. And you got to go after it. You can't sit idle and think that things are going to change. So I don't know how helpful that would be, but
super helpful, man. I think those are wise words again. I mean, I feel like, Alex, I hold you in pretty high regards again, especially for not knowing you super well. I do feel like I know you super well just because of the conversations and stuff we've had. But again, man, I appreciate so much, like, everything you've done for me personally. I hope that people who hear this, take something from it and apply it to their lives. Just to wrap up, man, I want to read that post that you posted about your demons. It says, I've got it up right here. It says, I've got demons. This is right by the side of Alex holding up his race number for the Moab 241. He says, I've got demons. They greet me every morning as I arise, reminding me of my failures, taunting me with past mistakes, and criticizing my every movement. I temporarily drown them out with positive action and movements. As I do so, they seem to pick up the pace and grow in numbers. They're relentless, never ceasing, and ever present. For years, I've tried everything to drown them out. But the reality is I can't hide from them. I can't outwit them. I cannot run from them. But there is one thing I can do: chase them. The only way to stop their relentless pursuit is to turn the tables and actively pursue them. I hunt them down and pick them off one by one. This is how I slowly win the war. This is why I run. And this is why I signed up for this monster called the Moab 240. Bro, thank you so much for being here, Alex. Seriously, man, I just want to say it over and over again, but can't thank you enough, dude, for being here and for sharing all of your knowledge, your wisdom, your experiences, and just the motivation and drive that you have is admirable, man. So thank you.
Thank you, dude.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. Please like, share, whatever, subscribe. I don't even know what you do with all of these things now.
Do it all.
Do it all. Share it with somebody. I feel like this is an episode that I feel like a lot of people could benefit from. So please share it on your socials. If you want to share it just in a text message with somebody, the more you share it, the more people will find it. So Alex, thanks, man. Thanks for listening, guys. Until next time, we'll see you later.